After decades of phenomenal storytelling and groundbreaking visuals, One Piece is being reanimated by Wit Studio, which is the team behind Spy Family, Attack on Titan, and Vinland Saga. And they will be covering the East Blue Saga. And for us fans, we already know everything that went down, so we have to ask the question. What are your expectations for the new One Piece anime?
My expectations are what One Piece expectations are. It's One Piece. It's gonna be amazing.
Of course.
Wit Studio is a very good studio. Obviously I think they did the first season of Vinland Saga. They did a bunch
Correct. Vinland Saga, they did Attack on Titan.
So obviously we understand that they're a pretty good studio. So I'm not worried about, the drawings or anything like that. I think they're gonna be better. But for me, like I said, it's gonna look different. So anybody who
definitely different styles.
Yeah, it's different.
It's not gonna look the same.
It's not gonna look the same. So I have no problem with that. Because obviously, for some people they can't watch the old One Piece. I can watch One Piece straight through all over again anytime I want. You know what I'm saying? To me, I never had a problem with the drawing style, but I know a lot of people who start One Piece, especially in this day and age, have a problem with the way One Piece used to look. So for them, I
liked it. It was a quirky look.
Yeah, I have no problem with it, but I also think it's because we grew up in a different generation. Like DBZ back then and DBZ now is totally different.
Correct.
So for me, we was able to watch dudes with our bulky, had swirls in their arms, all kinds of, whole dragon, purple, pink dragons and stuff. So to us, and that's the same thing with pacing. For me, I never had a problem with the One Piece pacing.
No problem at all with the pacing, but I know the pacing's
a lot of people had a problem with the pacing.
Yeah, because they expect everything fast now, lightning speed pacing. And I could say that's one thing that's an expectation. I know they're going to do it because they say they're updating it for a new generation. Mm-hmm. So I expect the pacing to be faster. I don't know how you're going to make it faster. Or are we going to condense 3 episodes into one now?
I think that might, because again, if you think about it, they might just cut out a lot of the talking that is unnecessary. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think any of it's unnecessary.
I don't think it's unnecessary, but what I'm saying is because most animes now, they don't really have a lot of dialogue or drawn out dialogue. You know what I'm saying? It's just not really a build up to fights. But I feel like, for example, Demon Slayer, I think it'd be usually every season now it'd be 1 or 2 episodes of talking and then just 10 episodes of just fake.
I wouldn't like that because I think that's Oda's bread and butter.
It is.
Of having conversations, building that character up to where you become fond of the character and then something happens. Yeah. That makes me more attached to it. That's what drew me into the series to begin with. So I don't think they're gonna change that. I know that they're covering the East Blue Saga. So we're going to get him getting Nami, Zoro, Usopp. I believe that should be it. It's around 53 episodes if you take out the last 8 episodes, which is fillers.
So if they're doing the East Blue Saga, they're getting Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji.
Yeah, Sanji.
And then going to basically putting their foot on the barrel and saying we're going to the Grand Line.
Correct. So that's what they plan on doing. They say, I'm assuming if it goes very well, they're gonna continue it. But we're talking about 53 episodes from beginning to end of where in that saga. So how are we gonna condense it?
They're gonna condense it to at least half. I bet you it'll be 25 episodes.
Yeah, like they traditionally do when we get the two cores on a season. 25 episodes. Yeah.
But think about it. Think about how many fights are in that time period. You had obviously the Captain Morgan fight.
Correct.
You had the Kuro Pirates fight. You had
Dawn Creek
fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You had the Arlong fight.
Arlong.
So those are 4 major battles that had build up to them. They might cut out Johnny. They might cut out and if you think about it, they even had that video fight, but that video fight might be condensed. You know what I'm saying? Obviously with the Kobe and all
Correct. That didn't have to be that long.
Exactly. So, and like I said, they might cut out some characters that don't have a long-standing recurrence, the bounty hunters that were cool with Zoro, Johnny, and I forgot the other guy.
Yeah.
They might cut them out or
can't cut them
out. Their parts way shorter than they actually
Probably
is.
Shorter, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. That's probably why I think because like I said, if you look at all the animes now, they don't really have that much dialogue. And even when they do have dialogue, or they might do this. They might put dialogue during battles. So dialogues that were necessarily like them just standing around talking, they might have more action in that scene while they're talking. You know what I'm saying?
So do you think they're going to add more of the fighting, if you will? Expand on the fights that they had? Like let's say Arlong's battle. Will they add more elements to that fight to drag out the fight a little more and give you a more, if you will, cinematic look like people are used to nowadays when you see big battles in JJK, big battles in Demon Slayer, big battles in Attack on Titan. Those are some really drawn out cinematic battles. I mean, at the time when we were watching it, those were some pretty big fights.
They were good fights. But like, I'm gonna give you a perfect example, right? Arlong fight. Remember when he was fighting Arlong and he went into Nami's room and they was talking about, the charts and what Nami's doing, and then Luffy started punching the room and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That scene, they might massively condense. Instead of, he might be fighting, they might be, fighting, he might be hitting stuff while they're talking about what this room is. You know what I'm saying? Instead of having him stop and explain what the room is and then have Luffy do that, they might just be like, okay, why don't we do this simultaneously? You know what I'm saying? That way it like shortens the span of the show. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people feel like there's a lot of dead air, or there's a lot of them just talking to explain things or to do things when they could be doing other things as well. You know what I'm saying? So I think that might be the best way to pace it up, is by having things happen more simultaneously that you can, you know what I'm saying, kind of play around with. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you won't have to cut out anything, you're just making things, you kind of smushing things together in that sense.
I do expect them to change the sound effects. The sound design was slightly different. People don't remember this, but Luffy, when Luffy used to pull his arm back, it used to be more like a boing sound.
Yes.
And now it's become like a whip, almost like pulling back. So I expect the sound design to be a lot different.
Definitely.
But I want to know, are we going to keep the soundtrack?
They're not going to change the soundtrack. There's certain things that I think they cannot do. Like, I'm going to tell you the scenes they're not going to take out or really alter at all. Him putting the hat on Nami, they're not touching that.
Not touching.
They're, you know what I'm saying, most of the goodbyes, like Sanji saying goodbye to Red Zeph and all, they're not touching that.
Yeah.
They're not touching the Mihawk Zoro fight.
Of course
they're not. Like, there's certain things.
No, the Mihawk Zoro fight might be a little longer.
What I'm saying is like, I forgot that that's another fight that we didn't even talk about. But they're not gonna condense that fight. They might expand that fight. It might be more different, you know what I'm saying, more things they add in, but like, they're not gonna like cut out that.
Yeah.
Even with the like, I'll give you another example, the Buggy fight. You know what I'm saying? That Buggy fight was kind of drawn out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? They took time to show him his face as a showery figure and all that stuff.
It expanded like 2 episodes.
Yeah, they're gonna cut all that stuff. When you know, say you don't see him really, he's just a showery figure and talking. They're gonna be like, hey, this is Buggy. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna, all that stuff is gonna change. So
this is Buggy.
Yeah, like, so it's like they're not gonna do certain things because you don't really need to do that in this day and age, especially because back then I feel like people have like larger attention spans, so they'll be willing to put up with it. In this day and age, they're not. They're not going for that. You gotta catch them pretty early.
Now, would you be surprised if they did a skin tone change? Because remember, there was issues with the original animation where they were like, this person's skin tone was supposed to be this, and then later it was changed. Because remember, the controversy is always Usopp. Yeah. Usopp's dad. It's always the controversy.
I definitely think they're gonna do that. But to me, it's like, I don't have a problem with it because if it's...
I have no issue.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
whatever his intentions are, I follow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't even mind if they made more characters look like, because we understand that One Piece is based off of the actual world. Like, you know,
geographical spots. Brazil, Africa,
stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I think
Russia,
Sweden.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? America, stuff like that. So like, I would not have no problem, especially like, let's say Frankie, and they made him a little bit more tanner because he looks like he's from like California. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
Frankie's American. He's the American character.
You know what I'm saying? So like, or like Nico Robin, she's from Russia, so they made her like a lighter pigment. I wouldn't have any problem with that. It just makes it. It's just following the story even more.
Yeah, it makes more sense.
Yeah, it just makes more sense.
So but the question is, Usopp.
Oh, he gotta be darker. He gotta be darker.
I noticed that the character design for him has changed so much.
Yes.
Like the first time you see him, you see like almost like a blondish, like
afro.
Nah, it wasn't even afro at the time. It was like his hair was down. I remember like a few scenes where his hair was just like down. It was like a blondish hair. Then later you see him, it's an afro. Then later you see him, he has the locks.
Yeah.
Like I see what he was doing with it, but I understand. It was the like late 90s, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I know the issue with the
concept of, you know what I'm saying, you know, more black people. I think you know what I'm saying, over time they start getting more ingratiated.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is not how black people actually look. So
I remember debating people online. People were like, Usopp's not black. I'm like, Usopp is obviously a black character. Not only did he say, he also stated that oh, it's like a representation of Africa, the character.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Netflix live action, he chose the people who were casted, so he casted a black guy, obviously, as Usopp, so debate is over.
The most interesting one for me was the Lucky Roo being black.
Lucky Roo? Yes.
I didn't expect that.
I feel like that was just a Netflix thing.
So you don't think he's actual black character?
I think he, it's not, no, I don't think he's a black character, if you will. I don't think in his manga it is. I think it was more the fact that he chose that main cast and he cleared the main cast, and then whoever fell just fell into different places. Kind of like Nami's adopted sister. It just fell into place like that.
I think she actually is black.
She had a different, like again, the controversy because with the anime. The skin pigment in the original anime, yes, her skin was darker.
Yeah.
But then like later they were like, oh, but it's the way it was, the image was processed, and it became a whole controversy.
Yeah. So who knows?
So who knows?
But I definitely think they might change the skin pigment. I definitely think that's the case.
Yeah, I think they most likely will. Yeah.
So I am mad at that.
But tell me what y'all are most excited about with the new anime in the comments section, and when you're done doing that, we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.